We thought we had found the perfect RV for us, and we were prepared to make one of the most expensive purchases of our life. And then something threw a monkey wrench into the whole process. A few of our viewers raised concerns related to cargo capacities. We began to take a look at this, and we were surprised at what we found. Not only are the numbers shocking, but we get the impression that dealers and even manufacturers are going out of their way to prevent buyers from easily obtaining this very important information. In this video, we explain cargo payload capacity in an RV and why it's imperative that you know the numbers before making a purchase. Stay tuned until the end. We're going to look at some popular RVs and their cargo capacities.
Hey there, I'm Rose.
And I'm Dan. And we are the Half-Ass Travelers.
At the 2024 RV Super Show in Tampa, we did a video chronicling our search for the perfect RV for our needs. If you haven't seen that video, we'll link it in the description. The RV we chose, and this is a spoiler alert, was a Tiffin Wayfarer, a smaller Class C on the Mercedes chassis. After we posted the video, we started receiving comments about the unit's extremely limited cargo capacity. What on earth were they talking about? Why should that matter? The dealers wouldn't sell us an RV knowing we couldn't carry anything with us, would they? Well, we decided to investigate the matter, and we were shocked at what we discovered. We began our investigation by looking at the numbers. Many of you may have seen the acronyms GVWR, GAWR, GCWR, etc., because in most cases, these are listed in the RV specs online or at the dealer. However, we noticed that there was a number that was conspicuously absent from the websites and brochures. Cargo payload capacity. Why? Let's briefly explain what these acronyms represent. GVWR stands for Gross Vehicle Weight Rating. This is the maximum operating weight of a vehicle specified by the manufacturer, including the vehicle's chassis, body, engine fluids, fuel, accessories, driver, passengers, and cargo, but excluding that of any trailers. This is not to be confused with curb weight, which excludes passengers and cargo. GCWR, this is the maximum allowable combined weight of a road vehicle, the passengers and cargo in the tow vehicle, plus the weight of the trailer and cargo in the trailer. This rating is set by the vehicle manufacturer and is a function of the torque output of the engine, the capacity and ratios of the transmission, the capacity of the driving axles and tires, the capacity of the radiator, and the ability of the chassis to withstand that torque. GAWR is the maximum distributed weight that may be supported by the axle of a road vehicle. And the last one, UVW, unloaded vehicle weight, which is the weight of the RV plus operating fluids as configured for delivery for the dealership. This will include optional equipment already installed. It does not, however, include passengers and cargo. Why are these numbers important? In the US and most other countries, there are restrictions having to do with the operation of vehicles that exceed these ratings. There are many reasons for these laws, including safety, mechanical stability, and the prevention of roadway damage. We've also been told that if you're involved in a crash and your RV is shown to exceed these restrictions, your insurance company could deny your claim and the operator could be held liable in a civil case. Well, this shouldn't be a concern because the RV manufacturers are well aware of these restrictions and design their RV within specified limits. The problem is that all RVs are not created equally. The weight of the box being placed on the chassis can vary widely, so it's important to know just how much the box weighs so you can determine how much extra weight allowance remains for you and your cargo. And when I say box, I mean if it's a Class C, the box on the back of the chassis. If you're in a van, just the passenger or the overall compartment of the van, and in a trailer, just the whole box of the trailer. This is where the Cargo Payload Carrying Capacity Rating, or CCC, comes in. CCC stands for Cargo Carrying Capacity, and it can be determined by subtracting the unloaded vehicle weight, UVW, from the gross vehicle weight rating, GVWR. In most countries, the law requires RVs to show labeling listing the CCC for each and every RV sold. These labels are usually affixed to the B-pillar or inside one of the front doors when applicable. However, we have seen many RVs at dealerships and RV shows where these stickers are either hidden away or not displayed at all. It's almost as if the dealers do not want you to see these numbers. But why? The reason is simple. CCC numbers don't sell RVs. Storage space does. The salespeople tend to tout the larger cabinetry and storage space in their units, but either gloss over or in some cases outright lie about the fact that in some RVs you couldn't possibly fill all the storage areas and still be within GVWR specifications. We may have heard salespeople talk about how the manufacturers always build in some extra leeway when determining weight capacities, or how some manufacturers weigh with full propane where others don't. The bottom line is the CCC listed on the label will show what was included during the weigh-in process, and any weight not included there must be factored into your cargo payload capacity limit. Most of these labels also provide the weight of additional fluids, aka full freshwater tank, to assist you in making your determination. The bottom line is that the responsibility of determining if an RV has the necessary cargo/payload capacity is on you, the buyer. We recommend you keep the following in mind. When shopping for an RV, find the CCC label and read it. Don't rely on a salesperson who may not be familiar with the model, or even worse, could be deliberately misleading you. Remember that the water and propane are heavy. If the UVW doesn't include propane and water, then you will reach capacity quickly. You may be thinking that I never travel with a full freshwater tank, so I'm not worried about that weight. Just keep in mind that there will undoubtedly be times when you may want to drive with the full tank, and what then? Remember that CCC includes you and your passengers, and that may take a rather large chunk out of your available cargo capacity. Just because the RV you like has a huge amount of storage, don't assume that you will be able to utilize all of it and still meet your weight requirements. Once you've made a purchase, go to the scales and do an exact weight measurement to ensure you're within the maximum specifications for GVWR and GAWR. Don't assume that just because everyone is buying a particular model that it will be fine for you too. The truth is that most buyers aren't aware of these cargo capacities, and they may be just rolling the dice. Don't be afraid to walk away if you see an RV with a CCC that will not work for your style of RVing. Personally, we would not purchase an RV with less than 1,000 pounds of CCC. And that reasoning being that between the weight of Rose and I, and then the weight of a third tank of fresh water, is going to take up about a third of that, maybe even more. I'm not going to tell you how much we weigh, but it's going to take up about a third of that capacity without us adding anything. And if we want to carry heavy things, we want to be able to carry them without having to worry about that GVWR.
Hi, I'm Jessie over at Mesa RV in Port St. Lucie. Just want to go over the Wayfarer with you. So the cargo capacity has been a huge subject of confusion. And Wayfarers are great, and they're built so well too. So Wayfarers, I know it says around 700, 750 in cargo capacity, but those units are measured with a full tank of fuel, which is just over 3 pounds per gallon. You've got a 24-gallon tank, also a full tank of propane. And so with adding all of that in there, a lot of other units, they are weighed without those. So their cargo capacity is a couple 100 pounds higher. So when you take all that into factor, they're pretty similar. However, the TIFF and Wayfarer, they also use solid hardwood cabinetry. Everything in there that weighs a bit more. And then also they have hydraulic auto levelers, which also in tune weigh more. So just those things being a part of their huge quality factor, they will weigh a bit more. But they are great units, high quality build.
Okay,
You have a question?
I had a question. What about the Ford compared to the Mercedes chassis? Do you find that one has a better, or normally a higher cargo capacity than
Each
the other?
manufacturer is just going to build them a little different. I think Ford does have a little bit more, but Mercedes also has a lot of higher standards because they'll be more particular on their cargo capacity and everything because they're out in Germany and everything, so they have a lot more factors. They don't want to overpromise, so they're very conservative with it.
Have you ever seen anybody come in with issues, and I know you're not in service, with issues that arose because they were over their cargo capacity?
I've not, because really if you put all your stuff out onto a pallet and you've got 10 shirts, you've got a couple pots, you've got a bit of food, how much do you think that weighs?
I mean, just going to the grocery store and lifting all those bags out of the back of the car.
But it's in a motorhome now.
That's true.
You're
That
not
is
bringing
true.
in 15, 20 bags. You've got maybe 4 or 5 bags.
You don't know Rose.
Okay.
She's a shopper.
I don't recommend a whole bunch of canned foods. But just bringing some of your fresh vegetables and things like that, it's not going to weigh that much. Maybe another 100 pounds. I mean, think about 100 pounds worth of food. That's a lot. You know, food and clothes and everything. So really, you're not bringing as much as you think along whenever you're traveling.
And one more thing for clarification, you said that the Mercedes weighs their units with a full tank of gas, a full tank of propane.
Yes.
Now, I noticed on the stickers it talks about the weight of the freshwater tank, and it actually gives the amount of how much that tank would weigh with that. But that's not part of the measurement. You have to subtract that from the cargo capacity, right? For the freshwater tank.
So it's weighed without that.
Right.
Exactly. So, but I also don't recommend driving with a full tank of water either.
Right.
Because you don't want, 200-300 pounds worth of water just sloshing around in your coach. Wait till you get there to fill up. Then you'll travel with, a good amount of water just so you can wash your hands and flush the toilet. You don't want to be traveling around with a full tank.
Okay, great. Well, you heard it right from the expert here at La Mesa RV.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jessie.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, our viewers really appreciate you taking the time to
Not a
provide
problem.
all this information.
Come see us down in Port St. Lucie.
Now that we've talked about what cargo capacity is and why it's important, and we've given you the information that you need to make an educated purchase, let's look at some popular RVs and their cargo payload capacities. Well, we hope you enjoyed that video and found it informative. Hopefully, we provided enough information so you can make a better educated and informed decision when you're looking for the RV that's right for you. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like. That'll help us with the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to ring that bell for notifications so you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, or you can see us out there traveling. We're getting ready to do a trip in the Eastern United States, so you can follow us there. See you later, half-asters.